Welcome back. Thank you for joining me again. A couple of videos ago, I made a painting using a homemade spin table. Spin tables rotate a canvas very quickly, which causes centrifugal force to push the paint out from the middle across the entire canvas. You get some very interesting and very unique patterns and shapes and textures that way that you couldn't really get any other way. I thought it was interesting that the outcome of a painting could be so strongly influenced by just a simple, repeated form of motion. So I started to think, what other forms of motion could I use to create unique pieces of art? I spent some time thinking on it and decided to still use a spinning motion, but have it rotate along a different axis. I took some inspiration from one of my favorite shop tools, a lathe, and decided to make some sort of giant tube that I could wrap a piece of paper around and spin it and see what sort of drawings or paintings I could make with a device like that. And that meant I had to take a trip to the hardware store. Seems like a good size, right? To make the rotating drum, I bought a giant cardboard tube and cut it to size. I also picked up some plywood and a few wheels and put them together as a base for the tube. Not my most precise work, but it got the job done. Alright, so we got the giant tube cut to size, we have wheels installed, the whole thing rolls. The next question is, how are we going to get it to spin while I'm doing the drawings on it? Just for the sake of time, I have a temporary workaround, which is an RC car. The next step was to cut some pipe so I could make a PVC frame to fit around the base. After testing my setup, it was time to glue the frame together. I intentionally left a couple of joints unglued so that I could make a removable tool rest, which will make storing this device easier since I don't have a lot of space in my studio. The other joint was meant to work like a hinge so that I could adjust the angle of the RC car that was going to power the device. After everything was assembled and tested, it was finally time to draw. I came into this first drawing without much of a plan. I was just experimenting with different lines and colors to get an idea of what I could do with the device. The first drawing featured a lot of random squiggles and some pretty basic colors. It was interesting, but not amazing. For the next drawing, I decided to make something more precise with a more planned out color palette. The long lines created by the device reminded me of some sort of landscape, so I chose some colors that reminded me of a sunset over water. The RC car turned out to be a problem. It kept starting, stopping, changing speed, and would slowly move the cardboard tube to the side. Okay, let's wrap this up. I'm traveling right now, which is why I'm in front of a different background than usual. So let's take a look at the final product. I actually have to be honest, I don't really like this drawing. The colors are nice, and I think the landscape was a good idea, but nothing about the drawing really grabs me. I think this device has potential, but powering it with a remote control car was a mistake. I thought I was saving myself time, I thought I was being clever, but in reality, I was just introducing a bunch of problems and a bunch of frustration. Because I had issues with speed and stability, the drawing came out a little bit rough and unrefined, which I think contributed to it being a little bit of a disappointment. Blaming a poor outcome on equipment failure is a great excuse, except in this instance, I'm the one that made the equipment, so it doesn't really let me off the hook. There will be a part 2 to this video where I try and find a better way to power the device. But for now, thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. It is a huge help to the channel. And if you have any ideas on how I could improve this device, leave them below in the comments. The music for this episode was kindly provided by my very talented friend, Hunter Brown. If you are interested in hearing more of his music, there is a link in the description where you can find a full album. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.